Breaking news! The Miami Dolphins may have just received an unexpected boost ahead of NFL free agency. Man, I admit I was excited about this information, and I'm going to share it all with you right here. But before you continue, make sure you've already hit the like button, but only do so if you've been a Miami Dolphins fan for over 23 years. There are people here who have been rooting for the Dolphins since the 70s. Maximum respect, my friends. It's great to see fans of all ages. Now, let's talk about the good stuff. The Miami Dolphins could do well ahead of free agency thanks to the moves made by the Las Vegas Raiders and the San Francisco 49ers. With key players hitting the open market, Miami now has intriguing opportunities to strengthen its roster in key areas. One of the biggest developments is the Raiders' decision to release quarterback Gardner Minshew. The move officially goes into effect on March 12th, the start of the new league year, and instantly makes Minshew one of the most valuable backup quarterbacks available. At 28, he brings a wealth of experience, having played for a variety of teams, including Jacksonville, Philadelphia, Indianapolis, and, most recently, Las Vegas. While Minshew has yet to cement himself as a full-time NFL starter, his value as a backup is undeniable. He is widely respected as a big locker room presence and a steady veteran who can step in and keep an offense afloat when needed. For the Dolphins, this situation could be ideal. Miami has been clear about its intent to add to the quarterback room either through free agency, the draft, or both. With Tua Tagovailoa's injury history, the importance of a strong backup cannot be overstated. Minshew has already proven he can step in and deliver competent performances when called upon. Last season, he started 17 games for the Colts and, while he didn't set the league on fire, he provided stability. The big question is whether Miami should make a move for Minshew. His market value suggests a deal in the range of 2 years and $12 million, which is in line with what a top-tier backup commands in today's NFL. Some fans might balk at the idea of paying $6 million per season for a QB who won't start unless there's an injury, but that's simply the reality of securing a reliable backup. Miami could structure the contract to be cap-friendly, perhaps backloading some of the money to ease the financial burden in 2025. If the Dolphins don't go after Minshew, there are other free agent quarterbacks they might consider. The top options outside of him include names like Taylor Heinicke, Jacoby Brissett, Carson Wentz, Mac Jones, Jameis Winston, Mason Rudolph, Marcus Mariota, and Drew Lock. Each of these quarterbacks brings a different skill set and level of experience, but Minshew arguably sits at the top of that list. Reports have already linked Miami to Marcus Mariota and Andy Dalton as potential targets. Dalton, however, re-signed with the Carolina Panthers, which makes Mariota a more realistic possibility. Still, if Miami is looking for a backup with both experience and the ability to manage a game effectively, Minshew makes a lot of sense. The Dolphins have the offensive weapons in place, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and a strong running game to support a quarterback like Minshew if he ever needed to step in. In Mike McDaniel's system, he could thrive in a limited role. While the quarterback situation is a major focus, the Dolphins also have another intriguing opportunity on the defensive side of the ball. The San Francisco 49ers have informed defensive lineman Javon Hargrave that he will be released when the new league year begins. Hargrave is a dominant interior pass rusher, and while he dealt with injuries last season, he remains one of the more disruptive defensive tackles in the game. Miami's defensive line is an area of need, especially alongside Zach Sealer. The Dolphins are expected to target defensive linemen in free agency, and if they can't re-sign veteran Calais Campbell, Hargrave could be an appealing alternative. Before his injury, Hargrave was one of the league's best interior pass rushers, registering 11 sacks in his final season with the Philadelphia Eagles. He then signed a lucrative deal with the 49ers, but struggled to stay on the field in 2024 due to a triceps injury. One concern with Hargrave is his run defense. While he excels at rushing the passer, he has consistently ranked among the lowest-graded interior linemen when it comes to stopping the run. However, if Miami pairs him with a strong run-stuffing nose tackle, Hargrave could be used primarily in passing situations, creating a dangerous duo alongside Sealer. The financial aspect is another factor. Hargrave won't come cheap, but if the Dolphins can land him on a 1-year, $7 million deal, it could be a worthwhile investment. Miami has limited cap space, and with needs at safety, offensive line, cornerback, and backup quarterback, they have to be strategic in their spending. Another option is for Miami to focus on defensive linemen in the draft, which is considered one of the deepest classes in years. The Dolphins could prioritize offensive line, safety, and cornerback in free agency while targeting defensive linemen with their draft picks. It's a balancing act for general manager Chris Greer, but having multiple options is a good problem to have. So now the question goes to you, Dolphins fans. Should Miami go after Gardner Minshew as the backup quarterback? And what about Javon Hargrave? Would you be willing to take a risk on him if the price is right? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's discuss. Looking beyond just Minshew and Hargrave, the Dolphins have some crucial decisions to make as they prepare for free agency and the draft. Chris Grier has been under heavy scrutiny for his roster-building decisions in recent years, and this offseason will be pivotal in determining whether Miami can take the next step as a true Super Bowl contender. The team has clear needs to address, and how they manage their cap space while making smart personnel moves will shape the franchise's trajectory for 2025 and beyond. One of the most pressing concerns is the offensive line. Protecting Tua Tagovailoa has been an ongoing challenge, and if Miami is serious about maximizing his potential, they need to invest in better protection. There are quality offensive linemen available in free agency, but with limited cap space, the Dolphins might have to prioritize the draft to find long-term solutions. If they choose to spend in free agency, potential targets could include veteran linemen like Jonah Williams or Connor Williams, both of whom would provide much-needed stability. Miami also has to address the secondary. With Xavier Howard's future uncertain and depth concerns at safety, the Dolphins must be aggressive in upgrading their defensive backfield. The safety position, in particular, needs reinforcement. The team could look at affordable veteran options in free agency or target a top safety prospect in the draft. Given the depth of the draft at defensive line, it might make sense for Miami to prioritize the secondary in free agency and then grab young defensive line talent with their early picks. Back to the quarterback situation, if the Dolphins decide to pass on Minshew, there are still intriguing options out there. Marcus Mariota has been linked to Miami, and he could be an ideal fit as a mobile backup who can execute Mike McDaniel's offensive scheme. Jacoby Brissett, a former Dolphin, also remains a possibility given his experience with the team. If Miami wants to take a more developmental approach, they could look to draft a quarterback in the middle rounds and groom him behind Tua. However, a significant concern remains. What if Tua gets hurt again? That's the elephant in the room. Miami can sign all the talented backups they want, but if Tua misses extended time, the team's playoff hopes could be in jeopardy. This is why securing a capable backup, whether it's Minshew, Mariota, or someone else, isn't just a minor detail. It could be the difference between salvaging a season or watching it slip away. As for the defensive line, Hargrave isn't the only potential target. Miami might also look at other free agent pass rushers who could be more affordable. Names like Sheldon Rankins or Poona Ford could provide solid interior depth without breaking the bank. If the Dolphins want a younger option, they might consider addressing the position in the draft, where there's a deep pool of talent. With all these moving pieces, it's clear that this offseason is a make-or-break moment for the Dolphins. They have a talented roster, but there are still key weaknesses that must be addressed. Chris Grier and the front office have to be smart with their cap space, strategic in their free agent signings, and efficient in the draft. Dolphins fans, what do you think? Should Miami go all in on a veteran backup QB like Minshew or Mariota? Should they take a chance on Hargrave despite his injury concerns? And which positions do you think should be the biggest priority in free agency? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.